Welcome back to the Vault with Wayne Gorman. Looking at mental health as always. So if you're in a very dark place, you're struggling with your mental health, suicidal thoughts, things like that, then that's why I've done this channel as a support. Obviously it's free to watch my videos. I don't make any money off them. And yeah, it's just basically information that I pass on to other people to help them. So today I thought I'd do a quick video because the last one was quite long, dragged on a little bit. It was like 40 odd minutes, and people tend not to have a great attention span when they're watching stuff. So the minority will find it interesting and watch the whole video, but a lot of other people, they might get to 6-7 minutes and think, oh, can't be bothered. So yeah, wisdom, what is it? Well, you might think of a little old man in a cave in China with his beads on and his little bowl. That's a typical, or a wizard. That's another thing. People think wisdom, wizard. Well, actually, none of those are factually correct. I'll tell you what wisdom isn't, before I tell you what wisdom is. I use the word tell, but you know what I mean. So I thought I'd dip back into a book that I read little bits of, and it is The Furious Method by Tyson Fury. And there was a bit of it that really made me think, really. So it's on page 126, and it's called The Whoop Effect. So you'd imagine now you're really struggling, you're down on your luck in your mind at least. You can't find anything that anyone ever says of any use, and you think, right, I need help. So you go into WH Smith's and you pick yourself up a self-help book written by heavyweight champion of the world, or he was once the heavyweight champion of the world. I think he's been dethroned now. But yeah, The Furious Method, Tyson Fury. That's the front cover. I've looked at this book before, and I might keep dipping into it if I find more stuff. So, the whoop effect. Whenever my mood starts to dip and I catch my thoughts telling me bad stuff, okay, I do the same thing. Just as I feel my energy dropping, I muster as much strength as I can to break through the lead overcoat of depression. I jump about shouting, whoop, whoop. I whoop, whoop. Sorry, I can't say this without laughing. I whoop, whoop 5 times as if my life depends on it. Just by doing this, I am changing my mood and distracting my mind from its current negative trail of thought. Before I know it, I'm in a happier mood. Try it. So you're stressed, you're anxious, you're depressed, you're feeling bad. I don't know where you are, in your house, your flat, your caravan, wherever you live, and bungalow, and you decide to jump up and down on the spot and shout whoop whoop. Apparently this is going to sort you out. So if you can say whoop whoop 5 times, I can't read it 5 times without laughing, never mind say it, but so it's working, see? If you can say whoop whoop 5 times very loudly without smiling, I'll give you a medal. Right, well currently I'm not suffering with depression, thankfully, or anxiety or low self-esteem. I have done. I understand it. I know remedies that can help, and this one, the fact that it uses the word distracting, you don't want to distract yourself. you're observing what's going on mentally, acknowledging the thoughts, acknowledging the feelings that come from that type of thinking. I'm not a fan of distracting. I think becoming aware of what is going on is a better practice. So yeah, this to me is not wisdom. Now, if it works for you, then it works for you. I can't see it working myself. Let me know in the comments if you've bought the book, you've been suffering with your mental health, you were suicidal, and you jumped up and down on the spot and said whoop whoop. Remember, how many times was it? Just so the magic works, you've got to try it 5 times, right? Now, if you don't do it 5 times, it won't work. So whoop whoop 5 times, and away you go. And that should clear the cache. All the bad will just dissolve immediately, and you can get on with your life. That's probably what's going to happen. So that is what wisdom isn't. And like I've said before, you might have good intentions. Well, maybe not. I don't know. There's a mixed bag in this book, and I won't go into it in any more detail. I've said enough on that, because the whoop whoop effect is what I wanted to look at with regards to what isn't wisdom. So what is wisdom? As I said, all my videos, they're not scripted, so I've not thought, apart from that, I've not actually gone through a process or written anything down to say what wisdom is. So I have to think about my own question and then answer it. So I know what wisdom isn't, and that's not wisdom. So wisdom is it's acquired or gained through knowledge and experience. So according to Tyson Fury here, he has knowledge and experience that method works. Maybe it did for him. I can't see it myself. I think there'd have been other things that were going on that were helping him come out of a depression, probably having a family and people supporting him. I don't think that was the cure. So wisdom, there's a misunderstanding around wisdom, first of all, and that misunderstanding is that when somebody is wise, they have knowledge and experience in life, how life works. I've just noticed now we're up to 8 minutes, so I'll try and do this in between 10 and 15. Keep it a short one, like I said. So yeah, there's a misunderstanding that wisdom is something that you're just gifted with. In my experience, certainly that's not the case. So you might look up to somebody that you see as wise. So the little old man in the cave in China with his beads, and you pray to him and go, oh my God, you're amazing. You don't want to do that, right? Because anybody that has any wisdom about how life works, they have suffered to acquire it. And suffering is born from selfish actions. So if you are selfish, you will suffer. So therefore, a wise person has been a selfish person. So just on balance, when you're looking up to somebody that's wise, this is why I say information is provided rather than advice, because when you give advice, you look down on someone. So if a little old man in the cave is giving advice to all his followers and he's looking down on them, that's not great. So it should just be information that's being passed, so that there's a balanced transaction. So wisdom is acquired through knowledge and experience. The individual has suffered, which means they have been selfish. So you don't look up to somebody that has been selfish. You acknowledge the fact that they've got wisdom, if they have, for me, they have to prove it. So I'm not just going to take it that somebody's wise. And you have to do that through looking at what they're saying and then trialing it to see if it actually works. And it's the same with anything. So it's not just, yeah, okay, you've told me this and that's the truth. It's okay, you've given me this information and now I'm going to use it and see if it works. And that's the right way to go about it. So wisdom born from knowledge and experience. The individual has been selfish. So you don't want to be looking up to somebody and putting yourself down whilst you're doing that, because every time you look up to somebody, you put yourself down. Now, if you're suffering with your mental health, you're already putting yourself down. So or you're putting other people down. So it's all about balance. So that's pretty much it for this video. There's nothing more to add to it apart from Tyson Fury. That isn't wisdom, not in my opinion. And if you have anyone say anything to you, which is, if the information is provided without an agenda, in other words, they're not trying to get something out of it, then it's likely to be more reliable. So for me, doing these videos, what am I getting out of it? Well, hopefully I'm going to help people. But there's nothing in it from a monetary perspective. And I give up my time to do the videos. So I'm not really gaining anything, apart from the fact that if it helps somebody, that's good enough for me. So I'll leave it there. Wisdom is born from suffering. You don't look up to people that have wisdom for that reason, because you know that they have been selfish in order to acquire it. You can respect the fact that they have that wisdom. You know, it's not the same as looking up to somebody. Having respect for somebody it's more to do with their integrity and the fact that they're being honest. You know, where you could respect somebody. So I'll call it, yeah, it's 12 minutes now, or just coming up to a bit longer. So I'll call it a day there, because it was only going to be a short video. I'm a little bit tired after work, and it's been so hot the last couple of days that it's just draining my energy. And with my hair colour, because there's red in my hair, I'm Celtic, and I thrive in the winter, not the summer. So I'll speak to you later, and that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching.